So was the apocalypse cancelled, or was it merely rained off? This is my review for Pacific Rim Uprising. The recent Tomb Raider made a reasonable case for a video game to be turned into a movie franchise. Pacific Rim is a movie franchise that would be better served as a video game. If this was a genuinely good, playable video game, it would be amazing. But it's not, and it isn't. Pacific Rim Uprising is the sequel to Oscar winner Guillermo del Toro's Pacific Rim. This time around directed by Stephen S. DeKnight, who has directed many TV episodes of things like Daredevil, Smallville, and Angel. And I would happily watch any one of those TV episodes over the first Pacific Rim. I hated it. The first one was so basic in its plot. Giant monsters attack. We build giant robots to defeat them. The end. Somewhere in the middle, Idris Elba makes a speech, and that's supposed to make it all okay. It wasn't okay. But is Pacific Rim Uprising okay? Suppose. It's not a terrible movie. It's got some incredible visual effects. There's an occasional laugh here and there. The plot here actually benefits from having the first film to set it up. When the first one came out, it felt like jumping into a story halfway being told. And then you're playing catch up with something that you have no stakes in. But now the world is safe to begin with, meaning that you feel the losses when they occur. And there are losses. So what's going on? It's 10 years after the events of the first movie. Some parts of the world are starting to thrive again after the attacks from giant monsters called kaiju. And though the war is over, there are still training programs for pilots of these giant robots that they call Jaegers. And those training programs are in place just in case the monsters come back. Meanwhile, a big fancy shady company are building drones to do this instead, which would put pilots out of work. And that would be an interesting thing to explore. It reminds me of concepts like Alien, where people are just trying to scrape by and make a living. But they don't explore it enough here. The main thing that's going on here is that a giant rogue Jaeger starts attacking a city, and they have to unravel the mystery as to why someone would do such a thing. But what about the characters? Well, the only character I could relate to was John Boyega's character Jake, but that's mainly down to his love for beer, ice cream and sriracha sauce. Kaylee Spaney, or is it Kaylee Spani? I don't know how to pronounce her name. She plays Amara, a young scavenger who at the age of 15 has been able to build her own Jaeger. I think I hate this movie as much as the first one. But that's not fair on her because she's actually very good in this movie. She gets a lot of good laughs and most of the emotional beats hit hardest with her. John Boyega as Jake has some strong moments as a mentor, as a commander, and as a son living in his father's heroic shadow. He has a strange relationship with Nate, who is also a mentor, a commander, and played by Scott Eastwood, a son living in his father's heroic shadow. Bern Gorman as Dr. Gottlieb seems to be the only one who knows what movie he's in. He plays it with enough cartoonish charm to keep you on side throughout. Charlie Day is also very good in this movie, and as another returning character from the first film, he has one of the most interesting arcs to watch unfold. And as far as watching things unfold, it does have a better story than the first one. The pacing is just about right, and the concept makes about as much sense as it needs to, which isn't a lot. There was a bit at the end of the second act where I felt a bit done with the whole thing, to be honest, but it did pick up again with a motivational montage, and you know, I love a montage. And I do love John Boyega, I just don't think he was at his best in this movie. He's got such good timing, it's just he doesn't have good material to work with here. There's an almost Chris Pratt, Ryan Reynolds vibe going on, but that's the key word. Almost. This is a weird one to give a rating for because if you like big action movies that you don't have to think about too much, this could be the film for you. It could be a 10 out of 10. I love a big dumb action movie. I didn't love this one though. As a movie, it tried really hard to impress and I appreciated that, but if you're gonna make me a drink and tell me it's delicious but it tastes like piss, I don't care how hard it was to make it, it still tastes like piss. There are some people who are going to respond to this by saying, well, this movie isn't really for you anyway, is it? I can tell you 100% that this movie should be exactly for me, but this is the equivalent of meeting your soulmate and finding out they're an estate agent. For me, I'm going to give this film a 6 out of 10. I'm not going to watch it on TV, I'm not going to stream it on a VOD site, and I'm not going to buy it. I mean, why do I even have a copy of this one? But what did you think of Pacific Rim Uprising? Comment with your thoughts below, and while you're down there, hit subscribe and like the video. Give it a share on Facebook and Twitter too. I could do with the numbers. Thanks for watching Matt Blair Reviews. I'll see you again next time.